used, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind. Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Tinfoil Hat. You guys are absolutely not enjoying the last episode. Apparently, you guys don't want to merge with cyborgs. You know what? I don't care. I'm going to keep doing those shows because I think you need to hear about those shows. I think it's important to hear about all the shows. I'm very thankful that you guys listen to the show, and I appreciate that, and I work very hard to put out the best shows. But we got to hear from those people. Whether it's good or bad, you got to hear what they have to say, and you can take what you like, and if you don't like them, now you know. Now you know. When you see Zoltan, who's talking about robot dicks, okay? You might not, we live and we learn, dude. This is not an echo chamber, man. This is meant to be a discussion of everything that is not on your mainstream news. They're just telling you what you want to hear. We're here again. Joining me as always is XG in the place to be. A lot of amazing things going on here. Guys, go to, if you want to find out all things going on with Tinfoil Hat, go to tinfoilhatpodcast.com. Okay, we got all the latest episodes will be up there. All right, we have T-shirts. Look at that. Look at that Raider shirt, dog. That's my favorite shirt. Look at that. The silver and black Ronin, dude. And I'm going to make special ones where all the rules of the Ronin are going to be on the back of it. So that'll be an exclusive shirt. I'm making that. We got the Lizard People shirt. Comes in green and goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. We also have our Patreon going there. Go to Tinfoil Hat and go to patreon.com, Tinfoil Hat. We're going to get you that. I'm putting out those Conspiracy Now. Big announcement. We got Greg Carwood from the Higher Side Chats. He will be our guest this Wednesday. Our new time slot is 9 p.m. If you're in LA and you want to come by, I can't invite you. But if you just happen to be at the Comedy Store and you went downstairs and there was a show called Conspiracy Now, you're more than welcome to sit in. But I cannot invite you. I cannot invite you to the show. We got some sponsors. Some people are making this whole show possible. Of course, we want to give it up for our good friends at BetDSI. BetDSI for all your betting needs. I hope you made some money off that Super Bowl because that was the only exciting part of that thing. NBA playoffs are kicking in gear. LeBron James is eating a dick. It is the greatest basketball season in a long time. By the way, real quick, do you guys see Zion fucking float and block that shot?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's incredible, but that's a different podcast. So go there, use HAT100, and they will match anything that you put in deposit up to $500. And again, we're working on those conspiracy bets. Those will happen hopefully within the month. I just have to sit down with them and get them all the bets. If you have some bets you would like to see on BetDSI, hit me back. So go to betdsi.com, use the promo code HAT100. Then we have our new friends. We have Caveman Coffee, everybody. CavemanCoffee.com. They're friends of ours from way back in the day. I love Caveman Coffee. It's wonderful coffee. He loads me up all the time. Use the promo code Tinfoil Hat, and you will get 15% off all purchases. They have everything, dude. Anything that's legal for you to take, they have it. Cold brew, straight coffee, teas, everything. And, they're independent, so you're helping the little guy battle the battles, all right? And then finally, our brand new sponsor, we're proud to have them. They're joining the cause, and I've had to hear my girlfriend forever fucking make me get this read right. So we're very excited, man. She's grinding me, dog. She's grinding me. I gotta get a marriage counselor as a sponsor, just so I can deal with this shit. I want to welcome everybody to our new friends, Absolute Abstract. Go to abx.org. Yep, we got a weed sponsor. I'm a sober guy, but I'm doing weed sponsor because I'm addicted to that cheddar, dog. Absolute Abstract is a leader in the full spectrum of cannabis oils, available in a variety of convenient applications to fit your personalized lifestyle needs. No matter where the adventure leads you, ABX cartridges, gels, caps, drops, and beverage lines got you covered. They have weed beer, dude. They have weed beer. They bring it all the time to the shows. They got this shit. Women can put it on their vaginas. They got like vagina relaxers, dude. That's how in head of the game these guys are. They got vagina which relax, you know. Let your vagina. And you know what happens when you eat? You get hungry, and that's what we need more hungry vaginas out there. While get laid a little more. So they got everything. ABX uses only cannabis-driven terpenes with no artificial flavors or adjectives. With Absolute Extract, you get the convenience of cannabis on the go. ABX's new collaboration with what brew? I don't know how to fucking say that company. What is that? Lagunitas. That's why you're here, to get all the Spanish down, dog. Lagunitas Brewing, hi-fi hops, the IP-inspired THC. Dude, what a wonderful time to be alive. We have a hi-fi ops and a fucking IPA-inspired TCH-infused drinking water. Dude, they got weed water. They made weed water. We used to have weed water when I was a kid. It was called bong water, okay? And it tastes like robot asshole. But you know what? They got this shit good now. You get that, you get your lady a vagina relaxer, and it's fucking showtime, homeboy. So go there. You can find go to abx.org and use the promo code TINFOILHAT and tell them Sam sent you. We're very thankful for them being here. They're sponsoring this show, and they're also sponsoring Comedy Chaos that is live at the Comedy Store tomorrow night, which is sold out. That is sold out, so that's like our 37th sellout out of about 39 shows. So thank you to the Comedy Store for that. We got some live shows coming up. What do we got next? We got Comedy Chaos, we just talked about. And then, I know it's in March, but March 16th, I'm live in New Jersey, and guess who he's bringing with me? The filthy Mexican over here.
It's fucking going down, man.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
He's coming, and we're going to do it, man. And so come see me. The first show sold out. We sold out the first one, so they added a second show. You guys are doing amazing things. Like I said, you know, the comedy club owners have been telling me that the people who love this show are coming out in droves, and I'm very thankful for that. So go to my website, go to Tinfoil Hat. Or go to samtripoli.com and you'll get all my dates. All my dates are there, and hopefully I'm coming to a city near you. Just know I'm trying to get all the places. I want to be out all the weekends, meeting and greeting everybody, talking about shapeshifters, realizing how hot chicks and conspiracies are. I cannot believe it. How attractive they are. We're talking dime pieces, dude. You know, this never happened with Punch Drunk Sports or the Naughty Show. If I would have done this earlier, if I knew fucking dime pieces were coming out.
Sports ain't gonna bring them there.
I don't know why, dude. I don't know why. So I'm very excited to have our guests here today. They've been on Conspiracies Now, and they got a conspiracy podcast that they tell us a little bit about. And I'm excited to have them on. They're part of the community, so please welcome from The Block is Hot. We got Famous and Tim. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got
it. Tim, I was just like, I know it's in that regular name. Dude, Tim, bang. Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing good, bro. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, man. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and where they can find it.
All right. Well, you can find us on all streaming platforms. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, CastBox, all that, and whatever else it streams out to. And essentially, we're a podcast that talks about pop culture topics as well as conspiracies and kind of how they tie into each other.
Yeah.
There's things you'll see in the news and you'll be like, oh, well, that kind of lines up with this conspiracy.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we got a Project Bluebeam, things like that. Or UFOs. Like, what is that flying in the sky? I'm not saying it's an alien, but what if it's just some new release tech? And kind of just, it's a way for us to put it out there in the ether. What's our opinion and engage with people?
I think it's much more interesting to talk about this stuff than watch the real news.
That too.
Yes.
That
You
too.
know, it's a lot more fun to talk about reptiles and flying objects and all that shit. I don't know why. I know why people demonize conspiracy theories, because people at the top don't want us talking about it, or that's the game they're playing, getting us fighting with each other. But it's a way more interesting world.
Oh, yeah.
To talk about all this stuff. And, you know, within, you know, the whole, like, the agenda of the elites, they use propaganda and pop culture to control what people think all the time. Like this blackface stuff that's coming out right now. It's like it's like I get suspicious whenever one thing comes up a lot in a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere, we've just had blackface-a-palooza everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it's been done in the past, and I think they're kind of shock and awing us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can sit down, you can watch an episode to see it, an NCIS or something, or pick up a conspiracy page on the internet, read that, and what's going to give you a better story or narrative.
For sure.
They never bring up whiteface though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing that
Yeah.
I feel like they need to. If you're going to be on one side about it, you need to show everybody doing it.
But that doesn't help them getting us all fighting with each other constantly.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like today, because I'm a crazy person, I'm just always like talking to myself, walking my dog. But it's like I realized Vietnam was such a big moment in this country because I mean that was the time where everybody came together and went, no more war, dude. No more war. And you go, we're in like 8 wars now.
Yeah.
Nobody's protesting anything. And you're like, why? Oh, because we're too busy fighting with each other all the time. And when these things get thrown out, like all of a sudden we have, 2 stories of a senator or two politicians 20 years ago doing blackface.
Yeah.
And then we have this thing with this designer. And you're like, why would you design something like that?
Again, it's out of touch and just it's a way to
Or
shock
they're
and-
told
yeah.
to do it, dude. I mean, think about that. If we go to that these families own
yeah.
everything, and at some point they tell you have to jump on the sword. It's your turn. Gillette, you're putting out this video.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it goes against everybody who buys your shit, but we don't give a fuck. Because if you went down, we own all the other razor companies as well.
And just like we had just a scandal after scandal without any time to breathe. Like, didn't we just have Brett Kavanaugh? He was the big demon
Yeah.
guy everyone was demonizing. Now we have the blackface. And then, you're right, Gillette was the big one. And then now all of a sudden everyone's riding on Gucci. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's getting ramped up so quick, but it definitely is a huge distraction while a lot of other things are going on.
For sure, and I put it out. I mean, I have now officially been called everything since I started doing the show. I found out that people at the Comedy Store call me an alt-right guy.
What?
It's just so because they know nothing. And then I get the I'm not even gonna say his name. People coming at me, call me gay Jew shill, a sodomite, all this
What?
shit, and I'm like, either I'm right or I'm far. What am I? I'm nothing. I'm not on anybody's side.
Like, you can't be both. I mean, I can't be a racist and then also be not wanted by the liberals. and
Yeah.
not wanted,
Yeah.
No, just come on, pick a team.
The problem is like people get mad because I call out their side of the bullshit, but they don't ever see. They don't get mad when I'm calling out the other side because it's like, yeah, and then you turn at them, they're like, hey,
Yeah.
no, it's ridiculous.
Everybody wants to play ball when it's like with your team, but then as soon as like it's pointed back at you,
Yeah.
like, oh no.
It's like this whole thing about like, it's like people will, if you say the other political party is doing this, and this, people are like, yeah, they are. And I go, well, your side is doing it too. No, dude, bullshit.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
like, how can you really believe that in a world where they're playing in the same stratosphere, the same arena?
It's one big game, and there's coaching for both sides. You're gonna either get propped up to be on the left or propped up to be on the right, and then there's our crowd, which is the conspiracy guys. I'm looking at everything right now, and something doesn't make sense. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? And we're all getting screwed by the big guys up top anyway. So if we all came together on the bottom and started looking at the top and saying, hey, you guys aren't playing fair, and this all doesn't make sense. Why am I being conditioned this way? It'd be easier, but no one wants to give it
It's the same
up.
lizard people in suits, man, since the dawn of time. That's gotten us all fight with each other.
And no one likes to be wrong. No one likes to admit that, maybe I was taught the wrong information. Everyone wants to be right, and sometimes it's easier to say, I don't know. And just leave it at that.
I mean, like everyone's going nuts on flat Earth, and everyone can believe whatever they want to believe, and you can believe what I really don't care. I mean, I'm being dead serious. If they go, I think if right now, if Rachel Maddow goes, I have breaking news. We have proof the Earth is flat. Nobody would care. Nobody would care. I mean, they came out. The government has a UFO program. Did anyone blink a fucking blink? No. Instagram models kept posting pictures of their assholes.
Yep.
Like nothing changes.
even with like the whole simulation theory, that's something that like mainstream scientists like are all kind of backing, and like nobody even like thinks that's
I think
actual
it's 'cause the
thing.
conditioning worked.
Was it?
I think it's because the conditioning worked. Like we all agree that like no one batted an eye, but we've all heard of The Matrix. We've all heard of Blade Runner. We've heard of all these movies and possibilities of it's a simulation theory. So when science is now admitting it, we're like, well, I mean, you guys were kind of talking about it. I'm not surprised, and
Right.
it makes sense.
Why do people get so mad at flat Earth? Here, it's so mad. And like, listen, dude, I can understand if you're saying it's dumb, but there's a difference between going, dude, it's stupid, and dude, what the fuck? And there's like this rage that comes out of everybody, and it's like, I mean, like, what are the like? Tell me what the real world consequences are, which is no one's ever watched a flat Earth video and committed violence. But plenty of people have watched mainstream media shit and condone bombing of brown people based on lies, okay? I mean, tell me why are you telling me that YouTube videos are the greatest sin ever when we see over and over in real time mainstream media lying to us to fucking condone? If I have another person tell me that we gotta go into Venezuela to fucking get a dictator out,
Yes.
explain to me Afghanistan, explain to me fucking Iraq, explain to me Vietnam, explain to me all these places where the bad man was that got worse when we got there.
Well, I mean, I'm more on the flat Earth side, and only because I'm never gonna get in a rocket, and I think it's more fun to believe in flat Earth. But
Yeah.
I think the reason why people get so angry is because it comes down to that primal, like the first lie, or when you first, I remember the day I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, and that just fucked my life up. I was like, wait a minute, what? This is all a lie, and everyone was in on it.
Yeah.
So now everyone's laughing at me behind my back. I think that's the same question, because when you first went into school, we've all thought as a kid, is it flat, or if it's a ball, how come the people on China don't fall off? Can I dig a hole through it? And a lot of these things were told to us as fact, and we're told to move on, and you just don't think about it. And then now that we're in an age of constant information sharing, and we're in the age of being able to put things together with video essays and question your old knowledge that you never thought about since after you graduated probably high school, now you're seeing, oh dang, I just been following something and it may not be true, and the only way I can prove it is if I have a rocket, which I can't fly on, and I have to believe in a government, which I already know lies to me.
Yeah.
And everything just falls into place.
The
And that's
biggest,
why,
for
let's
sure,
move
the
on.
biggest thing is this: it's like when they start passing rules, not just laws, but rules that you can't talk about something. That says to me, there's something there.
Yeah, definitely.
And why would you pass a law if it's such a fact? What are you afraid of? What is it? There's something going on there that scares the shit out of you that someone might actually learn about. I don't care how dumb it is. Then there's dumbass shit that we're told by our mothers out of fear that makes no fucking sense. How come people don't go crazy when they say, hey, you can swim after you eat?
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
I mean, dude, I thought I was going to die if I jumped in the pool after I ate. And it was just bullshit because moms would just get the natural paranoia of their children.
Yeah.
How come people don't go nuts on that? What is it about that thing that scares everybody? And I'm not into it's not going to change my life. I'm more simulation. And why are people willing to believe? Eddie says all the time, they're so quick to believe that this is a program than it is that something's different about what we live on.
Yeah, I feel like part of that is just because, like, I feel like part of it is because when you look out into the sky and you do see the other planets, and it's like like naturally, I feel like people are like, yeah, we're living in like this universe with those. So if those are like that, I'm assuming that this is like that. So I don't feel like they're really looking into like. I totally lost my train of thought.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. Well, they're like, why is that this and this would be different? Well,
Exactly.
The truth is, you don't know what that is. You're being told what you're looking at is a round ball.
Yeah, like have you ever looked at the moon through a telescope? That shit looks fake as fuck.
Yeah. Hey, dude, nobody, I said it before, and someone said I was crazy, but there was a time when there were cultures that talked about there was no moon.
I think it was in Africa. They talked about how it's like a serpent laying an egg in the sky.
Yeah.
Whoa. I think the big fear with the thought of a flat Earth, because I mean, without even getting into religion, I have to, just for disclosure, I grew up a Christian, so I'm gonna hold more so to that type of belief. But I believe in intelligent design.
Yeah.
And I think that if all the past civilizations and cultures kind of talked about some type of flat plane, it kind of reinforces the notion of a God. And if there is a God, that means that everything we do, it makes us responsible for our actions. We're no longer just a speck of dust that came here by accident, floating across this infinite galaxy, which we don't have really proof of that. And it's like, oh no, when I die, I'm gonna have to answer for what I've done. And have I been a good person or a bad person? Whether it's if you believe in the Jewish faith, Christian, Buddhism, have you been a productive energy force? Have you been negative energy or positive energy? Because now everyone's talking about energy and what's your frequency and this like that. Like, have you heard of the 344 or 440 hertz frequency?
No.
Conspiracy?
Oh, about the
music?
radio?
Yeah.
That plays at a certain level, so it makes you depressed?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
see like the water molecules change when they change the frequency, and we're like 70% water.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
And then why do you think such violent music causes people to act and behave a certain way? Well, I mean, who's to say?
Well, dude, I mean, look what the moon does to the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And then we're like, what, 70% water, 80% water? Why wouldn't it do that to us as well?
Oh, that's an interesting thing I never thought about.
You know?
It
That
doesn't even
affects our...
affect you.
Yeah.
What would it do? Bring us high tide, low tide?
No, but
wake
but it
you up like
obviously
those,
moves. I mean, the gravitational force and it affects the way that water operates. You know, I mean, isn't that what it is, Aaron? I mean, right, Aaron. Thank you for fucking not paying attention to this fucking groundbreaking podcast.
Like flat Earth, get out of here.
He's like, again?
That's exactly-
Again?
Did you actually know the whole frequency thing? That was something that was changed by Rockefeller started investing money into it after he found out that there's a Nazi scientist like that was changing the frequency like on the record players.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, we've used like the sonic weapon in Cuba. That's kind of the same thing.
Sonic weapon.
The sonic was just a noise that would fucking make the head hurt.
But didn't
and
some
shit.
come out saying it was just crickets, which I found like, what?
I know cricket.
Who's to say that with genetic engineering, we haven't created a cricket that can create a frequency wave that no one even pick
I
up
wouldn't
on?
doubt
They
it,
just release
dude.
it. Okay, we're gonna release it over here. Everyone's gonna think it's a regular cricket, and then maybe it only has a life cycle of like 2 or 3 days, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
Isn't there
like that.
Monsanto mosquitoes that like have a immunity to like West Nile, so they don't carry it around or something like that?
Monsanto.
Dude, I would doubt that Monsanto would make anything that would help.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
So that part of it, I mean, the only thing I think is Monsanto's would create a mosquito that won't die because of pesticides.
Yeah.
Like it would just fuck that, you
Super
know?
mosquitoes
It's like
running
the
around.
person who keeps getting syphilis and just keeps rocking. So I wanted to have you guys on because I wanted to do again. You know, I don't know if I necessarily agree with all this whole thing, but it's always a topic I think is interesting, and that is cloning. Cloning's an interesting thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And like we've been hearing about cloning forever. They're gonna clone people, and like, what is the technology there? Now, the thing I want to talk about, because we're gonna get into the history of cloning, but the truth is that they're letting us know what they want us to know about cloning. So where we're at right now, we might be 50 years ahead of that behind the scenes.
Definitely.
So it could be way more than what we think it is. You know, they're doing livestock right now. Like, that's where they're saying they're at today. They might be just cloning out. You know, there might be 50 Michael Jordans in a fucking lab somewhere. Somewhere. Just waiting when they just break it out so they can bring them back. What's your guys' take on cloning?
Yo, all right. So I was looking into this, I was like tripping out on like all this because apparently we're like we could clone monkeys like at the biggest thing with cloning primates like humans and monkeys is that we have these protein spindles that once you remove it from like the nuclei, it's really close to the chromosome, so then like it usually results in a miscarriage. But as of January 24th, it seems like they have a handle on that, and they actually gave birth to 2 clone monkeys.
Right here.
Oh yeah, there
And
you
those
go.
monkeys look like, what the fuck?
Yeah, those.
Where
the
did we
faces
come
are-
from?
They look
Very,
scary.
very distraught.
Deep
Yeah,
black
they're like,
eyes.
dude, this is not right. Dude, they just want to hug. God, I love animals, man. I want to give you a little background on the history of cloning. There's a website broke it up all the way down to 2005. So, I mean, we're obviously past a lot of this, but they put cloning back to 5,000 BC, humans discovered that they can improve corn crops by planting seeds, the best seeds of plants, which is now
Monsanto.
The first Monsantos, right? And then the next big one is in the year 1866, Gregory Mendel publishes experiments in plant hybridization, which established the basic laws of inheritance. He is seen as the father of genetics. So that's where we hype. It's always interesting when they talk about what could be before it is, which is a giant argument about dinosaurs. Like they were talking about dinosaurs before they actually saw a dinosaur.
What trips me out is the fact that like we think we know what dinosaurs would sound like. Like someone made a voice of a T-Rex, and we all swear to God that's what it would sound like. Like we have no idea what they would sound like.
Is
It
there
sound like a
anything
chicken,
that
probably know.
screams like that? I mean, what in the animal kingdom do we see now that screams like that? Nothing. I don't know anything.
Even with dinosaurs, it's like a big thing that they think that a lot of them had like feathers and shit like that now. They're just oversized.
Yeah,
birds.
a lot of people got mad that now that they think that Jurassic Park didn't give a fuck. And it had no feathers to them, dude. Somebody was like, but it looks a lot scary without feathers. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh man, if I saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex with feathers,
No, my favorite thing is when they're like,
pet it.
"Oh, it can't see you if you don't move." I'm like, how do you know that?
It's like, what do you like? It probably has great vision.
Yeah, how do you know that? Why would it not be able to see you? It makes no. Is there an animal, Aaron, that does that? Okay. 1902, Hans Spielmann, and I'm fucking names up, and I don't want to hear about it. Okay, divides a salamander embryo into and shows early embryo cells retain all the genetic information necessary to create a new organism. This is a big moment. This is the experiment. It's the first artificially induced of nature cloning that produces identical twins, triplets, and so on. So here they're doing this here, and now they just got two monkeys. That's what makes me nervous, man. The Herbert Weber of the U.S. Department of Agriculture clones the word CLON, which is clon. Would that be clon? Right? Clon. Which eventually becomes clone to refer to any group of cells or organisms that produce asexual. See, now we got agendas again. We're gonna have a bunch of hermaphrodite clones running around. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. 2003, U.S. Department coins the phrase. Okay, I just did that one. Then 1929.
How about we talk into the mic?
Hey, shut up! Now you're gonna pay attention. All I gotta say is all these scientists have the worst German names, and I trust none of them. Okay, 1929. This dude, we're just gonna call him, discovers a previous unknown sugar, deoxyribose, and I fucked that word up, dude, and a bunch of other stuff that did not contain ribose. Basically, they discovered DNA in 1929.
We're not biologists.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm butchering this, dude. I should have practiced all this shit before. 1978 is the next big thing, and that is the release of David Rovick's book, In His Image, The Cloning of Man. That sparks basically the world debate about the ethics of cloning.
If you're talking about the ethics of something, that means you've already done it, or you're capable of doing it. Like no one talks about the ethics of before creating. Like no one thought of the ethics of creating the atomic bomb. They just did that shit. So
for sure, dude. In 1980, the U.S. Supreme Court rules that live human-made organisms are patentable by material. So that is exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, we might have this thing. We might want patent. No, they've been making this, and now they see, oh shit, someone could jack this from us.
Yep.
So we got to patent this now.
Especially with like just we want to get to like the espionage and spies. I'm pretty sure if someone gets word within the scientific community, because they think that they're all doing it for the great of science, but no, word's probably leaked around. China wants to get in on it. Germany, we probably took their scientists from World War II with Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
So It's definitely something that can be done. It's just about who's gonna get it. Like I bet like the Queen's probably had some cloned organs, put inside her to be living.
Oh
so
yeah,
long.
when she's not eating orphans. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, nobody reacted that the Queen, they just found body parts in her refrigerator, and everyone acted like
it was cool. Like,
yeah.
It's like, of course she has body parts in there.
Dude, you want to hear my new
like
theory?
Your president doesn't.
Netflix is the new world order. Think about what Netflix is doing, right? I never realized this until just recently. Like, I went to China about 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And they got none of my references. These were expats, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, these are Americans who were living there. Got none of my references. I go back about 5 years later or 4 years later. Mm-hmm. 40 years ago, they're getting everything. They know all my references. So now the culture of the United States is becoming the culture of everywhere.
World, yeah.
What entertainment force is in entity is in every country like that? I mean, each one has an ESPN, but not to the level like Netflix. My dad watches Netflix. It's like he's not into this pop culture shit, but he has Netflix,
And so he knows the references because if you see something come up on that first preview that just starts playing automatic, like I'm gonna check that out. Like,
Remember one of the first lines they show is trending now, popular. That's the other one.
And that's how I found out the show Altered Carbon that talks about cloning and downloading the consciousness into like storage drives. That's probably what we're gonna be leading up to, and just becoming gods among men, just being immortal.
But think about that, because I thought about that. Like, they did that whole thing trying to make the Queen look so cool, like how she rose above all this crazy shit in her youth. And you're like, oh, that's just propaganda. It was like sometimes we don't see it.
But it's there. Even
It's
if
there.
It can look positive, but it's still a way of just kind of pushing your mind in that way of like, oh, okay, what are they really trying to push here? Because
For sure.
what did she have to overcome? Being in a rich family that
She
was
won the
controlling shit
fucking
everywhere. Like,
genetic lottery.
that's basically what it is. What's called Merkel, the chick. She basically won the jackpot of a lifetime. Basically, she could be oblivious to everything, but it doesn't matter. You got picked. He wanted you to be.
You ever
a
hear the
princess?
theory that
Like,
she's genetic code from Hitler?
really?
Yeah, they supposedly during when the collapse of the Cold War and all that stuff, they got hold of all the the KGB or there was another department of the Russian thing, and they basically had all this data that the Russians basically that somebody used the old DNA from Hitler because Hitler was nuts, right? Like people don't realize First of all, Hitler was a Rothschild, okay? And second of all, he was shooting speed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We're all the Nazis shooting speed.
That's why they lost. They're too
Speed and
busy
meth.
sucking their own dicks. You know what they dude, I'm in recovery. You know what they call meth in the rooms? Queer juice. Because you end up doing it and you just, as a guy, you start shoving stuff up your butt. And women, they do they start doing home fucking improvements and shit.
Wait, so you just hit meth once and start sticking?
No,
stuff
not
up your
once,
butt?
obviously. Unless you really want. I think you want to suck dick anyway.
This is an excuse.
That's a big jump.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean and they were shooting him all the time with meth. So that's why you see his speeches. He's screaming at everybody because he's high on meth.
And
Yeah, he's hyped
cold
as
sweats
fuck.
just all over the place.
He looked like my old Taekwondo instructor, always just sweating. And then
Yeah.
found out my Taekwondo instructor was on meth.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Teach the kids with the most
Dude,
energy
JFK
ever.
was doing meth.
really?
Yeah, he's straight up doing meth. I mean, crazy.
Fuck.
I feel
But
like
imagine though, I mean, if you're that high level, I wouldn't be surprised because you're probably getting the cleanest of the meth.
The best.
Yeah,
the
the best of
good
the best.
shit.
the
Like,
Eisenhower
good
shit.
shit.
it's like they ain't doing average street
Eisenhower.
coke.
I want some of that Eisenhower meth. Dog. And then we get to the next big day, in my opinion, is President Bill Clinton in 1997. Well, 1996, Dolly, the first animal clone from
Goats.
adult cells, is born. That's the first one we've known that they went public with it.
Was that the one on CNN when the chick she announces that there's an actual cloned baby?
No, that's
No.
Bridget Brazil.
When's that? When did that
was
happen?
2002 and the beginning of 2003. They said there was about 14 human baby clones out there.
So they'd be among us right now.
Yeah.
2019.
They're-
Aaron. I thought that was you, Aaron. That joke did not land at all. Yeah, and then in 1997, President Bill Clinton proposes a 5-year moratorium on human cloning. which means like you guys can't work on it. We're gonna keep working on it, but you guys can't work on it. I mean, has there anybody who like was a better salesman that was completely fucking evil than Bill Clinton?
He had the golden tongue.
Oh,
And he could play the saxophone.
oh, it was unbelievable to me what we fell for with that guy.
He had the balls to look us in the eye on camera and say he did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
And he totally had sexual
Yeah,
relations with her.
totally had sexual relations.
You were telling me you would have said yeah?
No,
Nah, I would have said the same thing. No, I did not.
Hey,
But he
dude.
could do it so cold and just look like it's like I didn't do it.
Fat chicks. Hey, dude, fat chicks are great in bed. I've been with a bunch, and they always bring it.
No matter.
Super hot chicks sometimes are like, if it's not you, it could be a million other guys.
Exactly.
You're lucky to be here.
The great thing about fat chicks is no matter where you stick it, it's going to be wet.
Yeah, right? It's totally true, dude. I have this theory. I don't want to get into it, but we'll talk about it. So funny. I'm not going to do it. But so let's get into. Hey, Aaron, what time are we at?
We are at 35.
Okay. So let's get into what kicks off today's whole thing because we want to talk about Hollywood clones. All right, is this guy Donald Marshall comes out. He says that he is ex-Illuminati, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's like, I'm a 33. I'm like, I think you're too young to be a 33.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
he basically comes out and says he was cloned in a cloning farm and that the elites clone celebrities to use them for sex and the torture, right? Like, now a lot of people have debunked him since, but he kicks off this theory that Hollywood is full of clones, and that they're all I like Miley Cyrus. I know she probably had to go through some dark shit to get there, but I like Miley Cyrus. Do you guys know anything about him?
Yeah, I've never even heard of him.
I've
before.
heard of him, and I think that if anything, that could be because like the whole Illuminati thing is they have to give us a little bit of information. So this, for all we know, like this guy could be someone that is a clone, but it's so far fetched and so outrageous when he talks about it. It sounds like everything you've seen through programming, whether it's in cartoons or movies. But at the same time, it's also too specific. And that's where I think it's like, okay, it's, I haven't seen the debunking stuff. I've only just looked up on it, and I'm trying to. Whenever I listen to someone give this information, I always look at it like, okay, he's telling the truth. Like this could be that point in the movie where I tried to tell you all, but you didn't believe me. So I think that it definitely could be true where they clone celebrities who have a certain type of influence. And I think now with streaming numbers and YouTube numbers and algorithms, they can see who they would need to clone after a certain point because it's nothing to get snatched up.
And what is your theory on why they clone these people? Why do they take somebody out and then bring in a clone?
Programming.
What's
They stopped playing ball.
Yeah, exactly. And they got to see who's down to play ball. Because some people, I've seen on Twitter saying that they've seen it. Well, if you're really down to play ball and you're really going to sign your life away, and like, this is what it is, I'm down for Team Illuminati.
Right.
Then, why as well let you in? Because then you get to have fun, too. Imagine if you get your own clone. Like, let's just say you want a clone of some celebrity that they have. Like, I just want to beat the shit out of this person. But you can't do it to the real one because they're playing ball, too. But you can fuck the clone up. You know?
No, that makes sense. I mean, like, what you're saying right here, people always go, oh, dude, how are they going to do that? I think literally that's what's done with Twitter Verified. That they have an algorithm or an AI that reads your tweets, and if you have certain words that's been programmed that they like, that it gets more retweets.
Yeah.
And then if you do that enough, you get a blue check mark, which validates that you're pushing a message they really enjoy. So I could totally see that. Like there come time, it's like if you, I don't know if you started, but I recommend Behold the Pale Horse.
Oh, yeah. Start chapter 4 right now.
Right? So when you get that, we'll have you back on. We'll have to do a whole thing on that one because people have asked to do an episode on that. But he talks about the initiation. And they do an initiation to find out if you're going to play ball.
Yep, that's actually where I'm at. Where you have to read the oath. And
Yeah.
like when I was reading the oath, like it was so creepy. I didn't even say my name in the blanks. I was like, I blank blank. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't want my energy to be out there somewhere.
Well, they'll be like spit on the Bible, and these people will be like Christian man, I will never do that. And then they'll act like, yeah, dude, that was the right thing to do, but that wasn't the right thing to do.
You failed.
And now, no matter what you do after that, you will never move to this level. You might not. You think the levels are this, the levels might be that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to this other trajectory, and you'll never get that because you failed the initiation. And that's how, when they're like, how did they fake the moon landing? If you believe that, right? Well, it doesn't take. It's like going back to your Santa thing. I love that, and I'm going to put it in my act so you get credit for that. But it's like that's the conspiracy right there, right? Everyone told you that Santa's real. Why'd they all agree on that? How long did it take? It took another one of you to tell you, dude, that's not real.
Do you still believe in that?
Yeah,
Like, grow
right?
up. Grow up.
And
That's the same thing.
Then if you even like if you do break the secret and everybody gets mad at you, like, why'd you tell them there's no Santa? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, because I was just telling them.
Just think
being the
about
good guy.
that. How angry people get when you tell somebody the truth on Santa. Dude, you just came up with a great thing, dude. You know, it's the truth, man. There is an initial, what the fuck did you just say? And everyone freaks out a little bit.
Because you don't like being lied to, and you're
Yeah.
thinking to
Yeah.
yourself, like, there's no way that I fell for it. Because we all like to think of ourselves as above the average person. When I've been trying to humble myself down to where I don't know anything. I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. But at the same time, like, once you start opening yourself up to these crazy conspiracies and just having the ideas, like, okay, I'm getting rid of their programming and trying to program myself on this new information, you know?
Right, and it's unbelievable. It's just like when you think a little different, how you get labeled a crazy person.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to say to everybody who's shitting on conspiracies right now, most conspiracy theorists are just like, dude, people are getting hurt, people are dying. Like, we need to take a look at this. And they're getting labeled crazy by the people who are living off the tit of the fucking warmongers.
Exactly. They're taking all of their information. Like, what makes their information so much better than the next man? Like, I something that I always tell people whenever I talk about conspiracies, like, oh, that's just crazy. That's like, it's stupid. I was like, well, you know what? Reality is only for those who can't imagine anything better. And these conspiracies put different ideals in your head. You don't have to necessarily believe it, but just be open to the idea that what we see may not be always the truth.
Yeah.
You know, we get programmed every day. We thought cigarettes were good for us because doctors told us.
Yeah.
You know?
Science is a new religion, dude.
It
And
is.
listen, man, I know it's scientific method. It's great, but who's telling you what those results mean? And who's paying that guy to tell you what those results means?
Oh, definitely.
You're like, dude, science invented the nuclear bomb. Science invented the chemicals that give us fucking cancer. You know, science invented a gun. I mean, that might not be your science, but you
It's-
created something
exactly.
that is science. You had to use math and stuff to figure out how to make this thing work. You know, that's science, dude.
And as technology gets better, we should be going back to question old science with the new technology and to see if we get different results. Like
Double check.
going back to the flat Earth thing, people will still use the ship sailing over the edge, but we now have technology, which we have high-powered camera lenses, high-powered telescopes, where if I can bring what was supposedly disappearing over the edge with my naked eye, if
Yeah.
I can bring it back with tech, then you have to retool that science because
Yeah.
you can never look over a hill.
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, it's just refraction on that. It's like, no, that's not atmospheric lensing or any type
Yeah.
of refraction. You can see the whole shit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, you're crazy. It's like, why am I crazy for just wanting to question science that we thought was solid and foolproof back in like the 1800s? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I am afraid of no knowledge. You know, I'll have anybody on the show as long as you're not talking hate speech.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm open to hearing what you want to do. I'm not interested in we're better than these people because I don't believe in that shit. I don't
Exactly.
like that fucking shit. I think that everybody has an opportunity. Like, we're not all gonna be Zion Williams, dude. But you know what? There are some great fucking Asian athletes, you know, it's like I don't want anybody to be put into these things because I just don't feel that that's the way to live life. I mean, that makes it more about us versus them, you versus me. And but anything else I'll listen to, dude.
No one has been bleeding out saying, you better not put no Asian blood in me.
Yeah.
It's just- no one's done that. So like we're all here together, and at the same time, we all know that we're not a part of that 1% or of the elite or whoever has the money on this planet. So even if you're a new money millionaire,
Yeah.
you can go broke just as quick as the next man.
And
if they
listen,
don't want
dude,
you in your spot, they can take that away.
When you sell your soul, and whether it's literally or figuratively,
Mm-hmm.
they come to collect at some point.
Exactly.
At some point, man. I mean, look at Madonna just said, you know, I'm finding out you can't, once you sell your soul, you never get it back. You know, and that's some interesting shit because she's becoming irrelevant. You know, she'll always have a following. But look, she got booed at, like, the MTV Awards last year. Like, someone yelled to Madonna, "You suck."
You're not infallible. Like if you would have chilled and just like enjoyed your legacy and aged gracefully, you would have still been a Madonna that was a sex symbol, that was an icon.
Yeah.
Now you're just a crazy person that jumps on every which bandwagon and no one knows really where you stand.
Yeah, it's just like nothing lasts forever. You know, it's like I've been 20 years at the Comedy Store. There will be a day that I'm not going to be playing there anymore. It's just, and it's not sad. It's just like nothing lasts forever. And you get your chance. Like Kobe played for the Lakers for what, 19 years?
Yep.
Right?
Gave it his all.
Yep.
You know, I'm at the Comedy Store 20 years, dude. Like, I've been at the store longer than Kobe's been a Laker. I mean, that, and there's only a handful of us that can say that have
That's an
consistently
accomplishment, yeah.
played there. You know, it's just like, I have to look at that sometimes when I start seeing younger guys coming in, and it's like, I could get really angry and then fucking try to dig in, or I could be like, hey, dude, I got it in me. I can, you know, it's in my blood. It will never change. Even if I never play there again, I will always have the Comedy Store in me. And sometimes it's time for new kids to come in there and be able to do a little bit.
Yeah, it's you're supposed to pass the torch.
Yeah, I
That's
think
life.
some people are afraid. Like our last guest we had, he's afraid of death. He doesn't think there's anything after. I go, dude, listen, I have to say, I would never kill myself ever in my life. But death doesn't scare me. I think you're either reborn or you're absorbed into the universe.
That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, since we're on that, I have a kind of theory on that. So with all this talk on cloud computing and energy and stuff, I think that that's kind of the mentality that all religion wants you to get to. It all wants you to be someone who's aligned up. So if reincarnation's real, it's like you die, your energy or your mind, your consciousness is absorbed into the cloud, which is heaven. That's why they say you get to see everyone and know everyone that you ever need to know.
That's
and then
interesting,
when it's your
dude.
time to go back, like, okay, your number gets called. God's like, hey, yo, Sam, it's time for you to go back, but you're actually going to be a chick and you're going to be living in this thing, but you're going to be able to have that wisdom of your past life because you were so aligned with the universe that you get to retain memories.
And you got big
And that's why
titties.
hell is for people that die. They didn't get to learn themselves. They didn't get to learn about the world and about that type of energy frequency. And when they come back, they're in a shittier position until you're in some third world country shitting it all.
Yeah,
over.
dude. It's the Tibetan Book of the Dead, dog. Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's just like, there's not just one reality. There's all these, and depending on how you were in your last one, is what reality you go to. I love that Tibetans said you basically pick your parents by their fuck technique. I think that's amazing. You just see, you go into the room, you go in this room where everybody's having sex. You're like, I like that one. You go,
That's like, oh, hit me. I was like, wait a minute, what?
yeah.
Oh my God.
Dad lit up mom, and you were like, that's the guy I want to be my dad. So you brought this up earlier about downloading your consciousness. What was it? You were talking about the carbon?
I think it's a show called Altered Carbon where you have this thing called a stack and your memories are basically in there. So if you die, they just replace your stack in another body and you come back with the same consciousness.
Yeah.
And you get like, you even have a little bit of the memory of the body that you were in.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we're moving as far as for the elite. Once they get to the point where they can download your memory, I think that's why we have 5G, because if everything's frequency and we've messed with what's it called, telepathic stuff like the men that stare at goats, if we're really tapping in on that and we can transfer that memory into something, that's why people will live forever. And that's when you'll be God amongst men, because once we start cloning and you have people altering genes where you're gonna be super ripped, you can't get AIDS or HIV or any type of STDs, you're gonna fuck like crazy, and then you're gonna be now that God among men, and people are gonna be like, who is this guy? Why is he so perfect? Where did he come from? Well, they're going to create a story. They'll create some fake baby pictures. Like, what is it to have a studio? Like, people say, oh, this can't be fake because we have pictures of him being a kid. What is it to take a picture with a 1990s camera, just take a picture in a little studio, and then you have a clone that's grown up and had a whole lifetime in 1 year?
Dude, it's so interesting. Like, the first time we got into cloning on this show, we had Freeman Fly on, and he was talking about how he believes that the Obamas are clones. Like, he believes this, and he got called into Howard Stern, and I'm trying to find it, but where is it? Freeman Fly basically thinks that Obama was an ancient. Can you put Obama clone Egyptian? They just found a guy. Like, that's the biggest problem. with this conspiracy shit is that there are clickbait people.
Oh, yeah.
And like that guy's obviously a Filipino dude who doesn't look
Yeah.
right? That's a Filipino guy who
like,
looks
who
like
photoshopped that
Obama.
face?
You're like, you just put that there it is, dude. Like Freeman Fly, click on that and see if you can get to the thing, but basically Freeman Fly says that Obama is the clone of that guy, that his wife Michelle Obama is a clone of his mother. And I was going, okay, so this guy, I mean, Obama's such an enigma. You know, it's like back when he was in office, if you questioned anything about Obama, you were called a racist. But it's like
Just a
there's
cheap
some
shot.
really interesting shit about him, about his like mom, whose mom was. And like Obama made me realize that this is a long game they play. A long game.
Yeah.
And that like if his mom got pregnant and she was a CIA operative, and they've been gearing this kid up since he was born, and that's how long they think.
Well, like the movie that I just recently had watched was Black Klansman, and that was with the whole point of that movie was how the Ku Klux Klan was infiltrating government to get these racist people into office, and then they basically tried to lead on to be like it was Trump. But I would understand that if you're down for the cause, if you're in an occult, you're in that secret society, you're willing to play the long game. What's 50 years to world domination, you know, and being in power that whole time? It's not like you're suffering. You're still in the cream of the crop elite people. You're just playing the game.
You play the game, and it's a long game, and it's a patient game.
And it pulls at heartstrings. Like,
I mean, they just know how to manipulate everybody, dude.
Because I mean, regardless of the politics, because everyone's politics are gonna be different when it comes to Obama, but as a person, like if you were to see Obama before as a candidate, it's hard to hate him. You know, he has a golden tongue, plays basketball, he's able to relate to the youth and as well as just people on all different levels. And then just by him, like my grandmother and grandfather, luckily were able to see a black president. And to some, that doesn't mean much, but when they grew up in the sticks of Alabama,
Totally agree, dude.
created a home and a family for themselves, and then to see that, it's like, it tugs at the heartstrings. No one would ever want to say anything bad about Obama during his presidency.
Well, you know, it's like I have a friend of mine who I love to death. His name's Chris Spencer. He produces a lot of the, BET does all. He works with Kevin Hart very close, and you know, when Obama was in office, he was meeting with this guy all the time, and to the point where he was taking pictures that looked like he was at a wax museum because he was with so many famous people. I'm like, who the fuck are you, bro? And so when I would start learning more about Obama, I was very conscious of what he represents to a community. So it's like you have to tread lightly on that. But I also believe that's what allowed Obama to do some of the stuff that he did. You know, taking a Nobel Peace Prize and going from 2 wars to 5 without getting any kind of
criticism.
No, not criticism, but just he basically broke the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, where he declared war without getting the government to give him approval for it.
Didn't he sign the NDAA or no the some authorization act that was like basically allows them to like declare martial wars?
Yeah, of course. I don't know specifically, but I'm with
when Obama was when he won his first presidency, like I couldn't vote for that, and it was like because I was still 17 at the time. But I always admit to I voted for him the second time just because I feel like I had to be able to tell my kids like, yo, at least I voted for a black president at one point. But I didn't really care about politics or even really care, and it just kicks me in my ass because I had a teacher, Mr. Alt, great man, American hero. He told me, he's like, you won't start caring about politics until you're in your late 20s, but he's like, by then it'll be too late. And he was a 32nd degree Freemason, and he would tell us all these crazy stories, and it was just like, damn, like this old man was right. He was spilling the tea because he didn't give a fuck. We were in high school, and we were paying attention, but it all came true.
Actually, he was the one that probably got a lot of people at that school into conspiracies.
Yeah,
he was always talking about shit.
They walk amongst us.
You guys went to semi school?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Got to pass the torch.
So Barack Obama, they think he was where's the name of that president? Was an African he was the Egyptian king, Akenaten. What was that guy's name, dog? King
And it would make sense though
Yeah.
why they would
What?
go after. It would make sense.
Akhenaten.
Akhenaten. That's what Freeman Fry says, who was the pharaoh in 1388. Okay, and then they think Putin is like this other guy. I don't even know who that dude is, but he's another famous guy from a long time ago, and that they just clone all these famous people, and it even just fits in that politicians are voted on, they're elected.
Yeah.
I mean they're selected. They're not elected. They're selected. And it's crazy. Like Michelle Obama, like when people go Michelle Obama's a man, I go, oh, you're crazy, dude. I mean, there's children of her as a kid. I mean, she did look like a WNBA player at the Grammys. I couldn't believe how much bigger she was than everybody else.
She is.
Yeah,
she is
she's
very
just a big.
athletic.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
That's a huge bitch.
Yeah.
That's a huge bitch.
With all due respect,
Yeah. So, it's like there's pictures of her as a child. I mean, everybody's got to chill the fuck out.
No one
man.
says that about Ivanka when you call her hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
No one says with due respect.
I feel like it's just
because
she took
one
she took naked pictures, so it's like I mean.
Yeah, which is like every chick in this country. It's always hilarious when women are like, "Oh my God, you gotta put nudes out of me." Yeah, like every other chick in the world. It's just like, not that you should do that without girls' permission, but it's not that big. If you don't have a naked picture of you on the internet, I would think something's wrong with you.
I even got a naked picture on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I knew early on I don't need any pictures of me naked. It's not pretty. The first time I saw my dick on camera, I'm like, that's never happening again.
Yeah, I've never taken a dick pic. I just had a feeling it was gonna come back to haunt me. I've seen too many after school specials where it just doesn't end well. So let me stay away from that.
Yeah, I mean, I know angles, dude. I know angles, how to make it look like. I got 6 inches. I've been fucking measuring since I realized I had it. Apparently, that's
Never
not
change
good
it? Does
for
it-
some of you chicks
I don't
out
know.
there who
I
have
don't know.
fucking car trunks for snatches. Okay, I get it. You got a fucking trunk for a fucking vagina. I get it.
It's gonna be tough in the future for a different generation of girls that have been like just thoughting it out in their young days, because everything can be done with the image search, and there's probably gonna be a lot of dudes that don't want a girl that's been like super ratchet on the internet.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be the new norm. It's like, well, kids are gonna be looking at their mom like, oh, my mom was wild back in the day.
Yeah.
I just Google searched her name.
Yeah. Asa Kara, the porn star, is having the baby. I think she's going to be a wonderful mother.
Really?
But, man, there's going to come a day when that chick,
Yes.
fucking-
Oh yeah.
that baby Googles her, and you're going to find
Hey,
mom's
do
crazy.
you
Imagine the first
Wait up.
PTA meeting. Like,
Yeah.
Shut up. Do you think she wants a boy or a girl?
oh.
Do you think she wants her boy looking at her later and be like scrolling through and be like, what is that, mom?
Why?
Like,
we
damn,
have
I'm tough.
we have old mentality because, everybody wants a boy. Why? Because boys can work on farms and would help with the farm. But, when you get old, who takes care of you? For the most part,
Daughters.
It's such an interesting thing that's still something.
Some
I
things
wouldn't
don't
care
change.
either.
I
I'd be happy to have any kind of kid at this point. The download your consciousness. There's this guy on the internet. He's talking about how DARPA has that technology now, and that was a big thing with Obama. That I was like, how are we at that place where they can download your consciousness? And if we're agreeing that we're like 50, 60 years in the future, I think they probably do have that.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the movie. It was about Ray Kurzweil, I think his name is the
Kurzweil, yeah.
yeah, the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Singularity.
Yeah, that was what that movie was about. And like what I kind of like trip on is like if you were to download your consciousness into another entity, that's I don't feel like that's still you anymore. Like I don't feel like it's
Well, it's always the duplication is never as good as the original.
Yeah.
That happens in everything, for sure. Okay, let's get into this. There's a couple things when cloning happens that people point out that could be different about you. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle. Everyone's talking about Dave Chappelle is a clone. They say it all the time. I always go, if I can get close enough to Dave Chappelle to ask him if he's a clone, the video will be huge. I'll probably get banned from the Comedy Store, but the video would be huge. And the
Just waiting to
reason
avoid you. Like,
they,
Sam, watch out.
oh shit, Sam, get that motherfucker away. Dave Chappelle's a clone. Put that in.
Yeah, because after he came back, he was all buff, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's like
A little
dudes,
too buff. Like,
dudes who look shredded, right? And this is the big. I mean, like, I don't know. I'll ask this to you guys. You're black. Do people get lighter as they get older?
Yeah, you usually get darker.
Yeah.
Well, I think you get darker, right?
I've
Because
been
you've been in
getting
front of the
darker.
sun more.
Yeah. I was lighter when I was in my youth.
Dave Chappelle is like 3 tones lighter.
I think it
And he
comes
went
down to the
on top
smile
of,
too.
On top of that, didn't he go to Africa where that's nothing but sunlight just beaming on
Yeah.
you the whole time?
And if you're gonna get cloned, you go to Africa. As in, like, you disappeared. As in, like, hey, where's Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. He's in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was older tech too, so might have taken him some time to grow out the new one.
Even on his last special, he has that joke about how he's talking about he read Pimp by Iceberg Slim, and like his final line was pretty much he left because he didn't want to get pimped into doing it again. So if that's the case, why would you come back and then start going?
And that'd be a
back
great
at
alternative.
it?
Stay in Africa. Don't you ever come back or resurface, or we'll kill you and your family.
Yeah.
Right now, we got a clone of you. He can tell us some pretty good jokes, make them laugh like you did. Your legacy will continue, and they'll probably die in a car accident or something later on. You know?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like what's his
Knock
face?
on wood, though.
Who do
Don't.
we have
I
on?
love Dave Chappelle.
I do love it.
I love Dave Chappelle.
That's
And
why I
you
don't
know,
want to be a clone.
Yeah.
Like his jokes still reach my soul, and laughter is a part of the soul.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I mean, it's just those ain't even the 2 same guys. See, this is what we're doing here. It's not even the same guy, man. Those are 2 different actors. Stop with that. That's what people are complaining about. How that is the crazy part.
It's like Tobey Maguire and Frodo Baggins.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, dude, we're not there to Aaron's part where you shit on our fun. Okay, we're not there yet.
It's just a question. I want to posit to the group.
Okay.
If you could download consciousnesses, then why the hell are they keeping Dick Cheney alive?
Because he's a power lead. He's doing their bidding.
I'm just saying, if it could be done,
I think it's just high power.
why not just let him die, his body die, and put him in someone else's body?
Okay, all right.
He's stealing
listen,
4-year-old hearts.
I
instead.
mean,
Well, if I feel like if you're going to download your consciousness, you still gotta give consent, because if you come back from the dead, you're going to kind of be like, "Yo, I didn't want this."
yeah. I mean, for me, dude, because I think they have to keep you around to keep the facade going. Like they can't get like Dick Cheney that we know can't die, and then young Dick Cheney just walks right into his space. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like everyone wants to end their natural life because they probably know I'm going to come back, but it's like I got to do the most here now, because you don't know if you're going to come back 100% the truth, because they probably have seen some clones like, oh, I remember that was Bob. He died 2 years ago, but he's back now. He doesn't remember his dog's name, but
Bob
he
has
still
a
remembers.
little
Bob knew Bob's an asshole. Right? Remember Pet Cemetery?
Oh
You
yeah.
know, he's come back a little different. Isn't that what fucking Doug Stanhope says about Bingo? Is that like she basically went to a coma and she came back? She's a little different. But if you look at it, it's like Dave Chappelle, his body's different. Dr. Dre's another one where they say he got cloned, because there's all these songs that talk about,
He had that big accident, so I mean that could have been the time where he died. But it was like, oh, we still need Dr. Dre
Yeah.
though. Like
We didn't put out beats yet.
It's my theory that why Hollywood doesn't like obese actors. Like if you look at the fat right now, it's not as fat as it used to be John Kerry fat. Like
trying to think, like-
Melissa McCarthy maybe close to that. On a smaller level, it's that guy that was on
Jonah Hill, he got
He
skinny
got
down.
skinny.
Yeah.
He got skinny.
He gained
But,
it back.
We don't
That's
have
a
any more.
clone.
But then he
Bruce
lost it
Valanches or
again.
anything?
Then he lost it again, dude.
It's like we have no more Chris Farleys.
Yeah,
no,
because
no John Candies.
it's
No
so
John Candy.
hard to build. Like Jack Black is considered the fat guy in Hollywood, and he's not that fat,
He's
Yeah.
right?
just getting older.
Because it's so hard to build a brand, and for a brand to die like when they croak, and it's just like there goes a $20 million brand.
Think about it. I mean, imagine if Chris Farley was still alive. He probably would have put out a bunch more comedy movies,
Yeah.
still doing things. Probably have a podcast too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he'd have crazy stories to tell in Hollywood. So.
Yeah. Dr. Dre's one. They think Dr. Dre is different. He's a clone. Britney Spears is another one. And Christina Aguilera is the most, interesting, because it doesn't even look like it's the same person. Like, see how that girl right there? They're like, that's not Britney. Now, I mean, it's aging, dude, but there are just different things, a little different. But I think it's just aging, right? And
Aging.
just bad fucking plastic surgery.
But have you heard the story about Britney Spears, the Mona Lisa record? Well, apparently, I guess back in 2004, she had dropped an album and she put a song on there that wasn't released by her record label, and she went up to the studio, was knocking on the DJ's door, was like, "Yo, play my record," and it was saying how they want to clone her. She's the original Barbie, and like that's the name of the album, I think, the original doll. And
Google that, the original doll.
Britney Spears album, and then basically it's just saying how she's a clone and. Why was she being so adamant on that? Like maybe she is a clone and her memories were coming back, or it's something.
Oh, what's the lyrics right there they got written? Here, click on that.
The song's name song is Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah. Mona Lisa. Oh, okay, I thought they had the lyrics there.
But if you can find the lyrics, but she clearly says that she's a clone, and it's one of those things where sometimes, like, a little bit of MK Ultra, maybe the programming didn't tick, or she's trying to get out a message or something. B.O.B.'s rapped about clones. Yeah. We see it. Some Shady, he's talked about clones in his records.
We'll get into him in about 2 seconds. We got quick with a little gas here, bud.
There's another rapper named Kid Boo that claims to be a clone.
Oh yeah.
Kid Boo?
Yeah.
And he did that thing where he sat down and then another guy sat down with him.
Yeah.
But the problem is they didn't shake hands.
Nope.
If they would have held each other, I go, okay, they're in the same room together.
Because all you need is a phone with the same footage, and there's a live stream on top of the phone, and you can easily fake that. But it's just something where it's becoming more mainstream. Like you're now, because whenever I see these new rappers, they're not trying to get my attention. They're trying to get kids that are in 6th grade, middle school to buy into their brand. So if you have kids buying into a brand of someone saying they're a clone and starting to look into cloning and it might be real, it's just another way of softening and conditioning for the next generation.
Or the actual release of the information.
Yeah, exactly. Slow release, because they got to play ball. They got to let us know a little bit of information, and then they make all the moves on the side. Look here, but I'm really
First time
right
I saw a
here.
dead body, I didn't freak out because I've seen a million dead bodies in the movies. I was like, oh, that dude's dead. That's literally how I said, and I go, am I a fucking psychopath?
I think about that all the time. I think video games have desensitized me, and movies.
You Instagram done it to me. I laugh at people getting hurt now.
Yeah.
That's just fucking funny.
It's so funny
sometimes.
watching kids get hurt, isn't it?
It's just fucking crazy, right? It's so fucking... Okay, we're going to get into tattooing. Hold on. I just want to finish... What were we just talking about? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. Everybody's forgetting what they're talking about. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera looks completely different. She looks like a giant thing. So, what was the name of that song? I want to find that song, the Mona Lisa song.
And it's all people who have the possibility of being legacy acts. Like Britney Spears doesn't need to put out another record. She can tour for the rest of her life. Same thing with Christina Aguilera. Same thing with Dr. Dre and Eminem.
I wish Guns N' Roses would never put out another album. I think they're going to, and it's just like a giant waste of time.
I think that type of that style of music it's dying in its own. Like I don't think.
Don't say that about metal, dude.
I think metal's not really doing it like they used to.
I think metal isn't big in Southern California. I think when you leave here, the truth is, man, that there's a lot of stuff going on that you don't see in the mainstream media. So when you go to if you go to the Midwest, metal's still big, but they don't play it on any radio stations here. And when they do play metal, it's either fucking from the 80s or it's like
overseas
this pop
and
shit.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't get me wrong, I love 30 Seconds from Mars. I did shrooms and found love for them, But that's the metal that's out, right? And that's pop rock.
Yeah, pop rock.
So it's like, it's underground. It's like kind of with us with our conspiracies, right? They'll do the popcorn version of us on television, on a TV show. When a show about conspiracies makes it to television, that's being done because those people are acceptable and they're going to put out the acceptable information.
And they always
Fox said that?
a lot of those shows are kind of like just wild goose chases where they're just chasing Bigfoot or something like that.
How'd they get a second season of Finding Bigfoot? You should find him by the end of season 1.
Exactly, or something that looks like Bigfoot. Oh, it was actually a bear.
It was an Armenian. He got lost in the so that's it. The next one is the glitches. So I put you a bunch of links here. The glitches are interesting. Go to the first glitch. The first one, Eminem. Eminem glitches out all the time. And I don't know if they're told to do this, but it's just fucking weird. Yeah. Nope. Yes. See if you can. Okay, yeah. And go to the time that I said it at, too. Here, yeah. So basically, there's 2 times when Eminem has glitched. One of them was in this. Did you watch the Grammys at all?
No.
Okay. So they would go to this British DJ because apparently you have to be British now to be on television,
Yeah.
which is
21
another
Savage.
thing because all the casting directors in this town are gay men and fat white chicks, and they love fucking British accents, right? So
They get all the acting jobs.
this DJ, yeah, everyone's worried about Mexican taking jobs. It's fucking Europeans and fucking Canadians taking all the good jobs.
Someone's watching this like,
Did you get to it? Okay, so this is Eminem getting interviewed. Play it. It's so weird.
You're gonna need to plug that in.
Okay, then forget. We'll just watch it. But it's basically just like, dude, he's just staring and he just stares out. And he just keeps going. And he just was like, it's so weird, right? Right? And he did that on that, you remember? The college football thing where they were
yeah, that's the
interviewing.
one I saw. Yeah.
They're interviewing him and he just, look at this. This is him. He's getting interviewed by this British DJ guy. And he's just like,
Are you having a stroke?
Looks like
What is he
he's like
doing?
nutted or something. He's like,
what is he doing? It's so. They also have them on that Monday Night Football or the college football thing, where they're in Michigan. He's just like zoning out, and the one guy can't stop laughing.
Because he's not sure what to do. He's like, oh, he's freaking out right now. Where's his
Yeah.
handler?
Yeah.
Where's his handler at?
The next one is Al Roker. Al Roker. Al Roker was getting an interview, and then she says something along the line, some religious phrase, and then watch this. He just look at this. She says something. Back in my Catholic school, we would, if you said leave room for the Holy Spirit, and she says Holy Spirit, leave for the Holy Spirit. Boom, and look at this.
Oh.
And he watch his eyes. He doesn't blink once.
That's creepy.
Yeah, he just snapped right in.
Yeah, that was a trigger word or something. That was like the trigger word.
Doesn't
Yeah.
blink one. No, it's like one thing just to
What
stare
the
there.
fuck?
But
Someone's
not the
freaking out.
blink.
Yo,
Someone's freaking out in production, like, she said Holy Spirit. It's
What
like,
the hell are you
Who
doing?
the fuck told her to say that?
The next one is Wendy Williams. She's had a couple freakouts.
Al Roker was probably shitting himself that moment.
Okay.
Famously
You
did
know
that
what,
at
dude?
the White House.
I'm not there. He shit himself?
He sharded at the White House.
Oh, Lord.
Dude, that's got to be the
out
worst.
of all,
time
That's
out of
embarrassing.
First
all
time he met
places.
Wasn't that white anymore.
The only place I've ever heard that could be worse than that is this guy shit on stage while he was doing stand up and he shit his pants.
Oh, like, do you try to finish your set, or do you
no,
just like,
no. How about when they do
ruined
MMA? You're wrestling with some other fool, and this fool decides to take a shit.
I might have to forfeit.
He wins.
Like,
Yeah,
like
the
you win,
fuck?
dog. Like,
Well, the guy hit a dude so bad he shit his pants.
he should win then. Like,
Yeah, I think that's a TKO.
it's a new stat.
So this is Wendy Williams. She's done this a couple times on her show where she's just talking, talking, and then she can't say the word, and then you see her panicking, and then something and she just stops, and then
What the fuck?
like, are they told to do that?
Why is she falling?
It seems like she like a signal broke. Like,
Yeah, like she
I feel like
completely collapsed.
with this type of stuff, because I've heard like in the cloning side, like you can put chips in people and you can
Yeah.
kind of like telepathically do shows.
Yeah.
So if these people are as busy as they are, she couldn't be at work today, but she's at the cloning center, and then the connection broke, and the clone's like, oh shit, I'm losing it, and
Yeah.
then cut to commercial.
Yeah.
she
I
kinda
mean,
looks
Lady
like-
Gaga did one. I just sent you an email. Click on that. The Lady Gaga one. She's like was in Germany or something, and she walks. This is the 8-minute video that this guy on Instagram, that account I was telling you about. Yeah. This is that guy, Clones Everywhere. And this is Lady Gaga walking to her car. And she can't, this is 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Now, my girlfriend loves Lady Gaga. I keep telling her, dude, this girl is deep in the dark arts, right? I mean,
said it.
from the blood sacrifice of her friend who mysteriously died, and she just happens to steal her whole identity. But look at her. She can't walk. I mean, something's going
Yeah.
I mean, is this performance? But it's like, it's so weird. And she's stuck there. It's just weird shit, dude.
It's like the
Look at
Yeah,
that. They got good ass
connection
drugs. That looks like some good ass drugs, maybe though.
Yeah, she's that kind of. I've seen people on heroin kind of look like
Well,
that.
I forgot the name of the drug, but I know there's a drug that like they use in like a lot of third world countries for tourists. Like it's like this little powder and it's like causes like mind control. So it's like, oh, can you help my phone? They'll blow it in your face and then they get you to like empty out your bank accounts and everything like that and just like run up all your shit. So,
What?
Is that
So
Flocka?
it's
No,
not
that's not
Flocka,
Flocka.
but it's I forgot the name of the drug, but definitely I'll let you know if I
Yeah.
can remember it.
It's right there. I
Oh.
can't fucking pronounce it either. But
Scopolamine.
yeah.
Scopolamine, dude?
It's,
Devil's
in, it's
breath,
in
yeah.
Colombia. It's, yeah, they just come up to you and they blow you and they can tell you, hey, go take money out of your bank account. And then the
Exactly.
next morning you're like, what
Now,
the fuck happened?
if a street cat can get a hold of that type of drug, imagine what the pharmaceutical
Why
pure
are
stuff
people
would be.
roofing anybody anymore?
They can't get laid.
It's
I
a
figure
mixture
that's
of
why.
things. Socially, they can't get laid, and then also I think
Yeah,
it's
but
just,
like no, but why wouldn't you just use that? Why would you roofie somebody? Why would you just be like, suck my dick?
Yeah, this seems a lot. Yeah. This seems like a better drug to get.
Yeah,
to
and
get
then
that,
it's like,
yeah.
what, dude? How they gonna-
No bruises, no nothing.
Okay,
You
so
need to
there's
get
other
consent.
people like Shaq. Shaq is glitched out. Did you see the famous? Can you put Jalen Rose, Jalen Rose, MK Ultra or clone? Jalen no. JALEN Rose. Glitch clone. Go to clone. So watch this. Go creepy. Go to the video. Yeah, watch this. This guy is, and their handles. The handlers always are touching the back. They're always there's something about the back. But
The wind up.
Jalen Rose is they're getting it up. But this is so. Watch this. And their eyes don't blink.
What the fuck?
That's the weird thing.
Yeah,
Their
he looked-
eyes don't blink.
He looked like a meat puppet, right?
Yeah, right? It's so weird, man. You don't blink? I blink all the time.
it's either like some crazy robot or it's like just a clone, and he's not in like the real Jalen Rose either isn't controlling him or the operating tech isn't
I
controlling him.
love it, dude. I love that you're open-minded to all of it, dude. Everybody else, I don't know.
Dude, I gotta give it to the people who fucking pay attention that much to catch
Yeah.
that fool not staring.
Yeah,
that's
not
someone's
blinking.
paying
It's the
attention.
creepy shit.
And it's just more fun. I mean, like, what? He's just a regular person that's just super into the game. Like,
Oh, he's
okay,
not
I've been
that.
really into sports, but I mean, if someone's messing with my stuff, I'm about to be like moving my
Yeah,
head.
stop touching me,
or
dog.
I'll adjust it myself. I
Yeah,
don't want
I'm
you to
good.
put,
Yeah.
don't put anything in my ear.
I just get some of that fucking dragon breath. Suck my dick. So the final thing, go to that guy who the Instagram thing. You should have it up.
Yeah, I did.
He's good with tattoos. And a big thing is how there's these people have tats that don't match up.
Or they're removed.
Go down,
too
go down,
perfect.
go down. There's one that's called what's his name?
Lil Uzi.
Lil Uzi, right? I'm fucking up names, but I'm owning it.
Say it fast enough.
Clone
it
is
sounds
the
like Lucifer.
big in the black community. Cloning is a big thing. They're always looking at cloning. Go down. It should be coming up. But basically, these dudes' tats don't match up. Keep going. Kardashians are just destroying the black community. No, go there.
They're
There. Click
witches
on that
taking all
one, right?
energy.
There are, dude. Those tats don't match up.
No, they don't at all.
Look at the one on the bottom. They don't match up.
And one's just completely missing.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. So either there is this dark movement to like make people think there's clones, so they put this guy in somewhere and they remove clones, or they remove tats and they put them different, or something's going on.
I think it's just if you make that contract, if you're really trying to sell out, then there's some things you have to pay, and sometimes it's your likeness. Like, what is the essence of a soul? You know, if they have the opportunity to download your memory and just to keep you going, and because I mean, I'm assuming the dying hurts even if you're a clone. So they probably killed the original, re-download, and you say we can just do this as much as we want.
Yeah.
You signed your name right here. You don't
Yeah.
own yourself.
Can you go? I mean, the little Uzi, is that it? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, that one's the craziest.
Say his name fast enough, it sounds like Lucifer.
Yeah, Lil Uzi Vert.
No, that's not. Is that Lil Uzi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no. There's who? Oh, go Triple X.
Oh yeah, XXX
Oh,
Tentacion.
XX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That guy, his tats don't match up at all. Let me see if I can find it, dude. Doesn't match up at all, dude. It's unbelievable. Put a Triple X Tension. whatever it is, clone.
It's kind of like it's like those people that are like in the think tanks.
Yeah.
I feel like
Go down, keep going down. No,
Some-
keep going. Those are two
Oh, yeah,
different
it's-
people. I don't know how that look is popular. I don't know how that's popular. Keep going. Well, I'll find it. But they're two totally different people. His tattoos don't match up. It's fucking weird, dude.
And he was one of those rappers that was always talking about shit like that.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where he has such a big following, and when you're trying to do good, even though he did have his checkered past, I feel like he's one of those people that was like a Tupac. Like your movement is starting to get too big.
Yeah.
We profit more from killing you.
Well, I think that's the honest thing about Michael Jackson. He was at a point where he's worth way more dead
Oh, yeah.
than alive.
Same with Prince.
Yep.
And
But
Prince
have
talked
you
about
ever
dying.
seen the video of like him getting out of the car, out of the ambulance? Like somebody in the back of there walks out. Keep going. Yeah, I mean, Rock. You know, Rock is the nice guy who's obviously HGH out of his skull.
I just want to know how he keeps
Yeah.
his head so bald.
I mean, the fact that he hasn't punched anybody in the face
No.
is like an amazing thing. I'm like,
and he's admitted to doing steroids, so how is he had no road rage freak out on
that's
camera?
what I'm saying, dude. How
and I love The Rock. That's my guy. But
Dude, I mean, what's her name? Nicki Minaj? Have they just replaced her with Cardi B?
Yeah, she got
Yeah.
it.
yeah, she's a
Yeah,
new Cardi
like
B.
Yeah.
she has no heat right now because that chick came and sold her milkshake, man.
I feel like there's got to be something wrong with her, like either like mentally or physically, because there's no way that you can keep rapping about your vagina for like 10 years and still have like no dude that's like on your shit, that's willing to do whatever, like put up with the bullshit. Like, nah.
Well, I mean,
She's
what-
almost 40, dog.
Oh, exactly.
She's almost 40. She's still talking about my pussy good.
It's like we don't think it's that great. No one's stuck around long enough to endure it.
Well, you know,
Kinda
the truth
smells.
is that I don't know where it is, but the tats are totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, dude, you can get to the point where you're just too much of a bother, so they take you out and they replace you. You know what they did that with? Eddie Griffin.
Oh.
Yeah, he has like some wild bits after like he didn't leave and then come back with some wild shit.
Dude, they got rid of him and replaced him with Cat Williams.
Cat Williams?
Cat Williams is a replacement of Eddie Griffin.
He talked about cloning in one of his bits about the cloning, how the USDA allowed the sale of cloned animal meat to people. So
Yeah.
if they're doing that, that means cloning is full. It's here in full effect. It's just how far are we going to do it and how advanced are we going to get it. But on tattoos, Gucci Mane, that's what I wanted to say. Gucci Mane, he went into prison fully tatted up, fully like big and fat, and came out of prison too healthy without the same ice cream tattoos and stuff. And it just, he was one of those people where he's
Oh my God,
Yep.
dude!
Yeah.
he's such a big staple in Atlanta and in that trap and community that it's better for him to get locked up, get a little bit of rehab, and then playing ball. His girlfriend or his wife now is probably his handler, making sure he doesn't, get off the train. And then they'll probably end up, he'll have a relapse in maybe a few years. They'll go to rehab or something, and then boom, another.
By
clone
the
will
way,
come out.
that's the look of when somebody's going crazy, right?
And no one believes you.
Mane, Mari Stoudemire, and John Wall all have that mini fro with the
Yeah.
scruffy beard look, and it's always going. That's what happens, man.
He looks softly cut right there.
Are they saying that's the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Aaron.
I just don't believe you go in you get
lost
locked
weight.
up and you come out looking better.
His facial structure is different, man. Wow. 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 I'm going to get all these links. I'm going to put them into the thing, and we'll get going. Guys, as always, you crushed.
Oh, thank
I
you,
love
bro.
having you guys on. A couple weeks we'll have you back on, or we'll have you maybe in March, and we'll talk a little bit of the Pale Horse. Tell them about your podcast one more time.
Oh yeah, the Block is Hot podcast. You can check us out on Spreaker,
White people, it's,
iTunes.
with an A.
Yes,
Yeah.
Not
THA.
E.
We're the only one. You can't,
Gotta keep it
can't miss
real,
us.
Yeah.
dude. Gotta keep it
And,
real.
follow us on Instagram at the Block is Hot podcast. Send us a DM if you want to hear us talk about anything, and just engage. That's basically all it is.
Well, dude, you guys are great. You're always welcome back, and we'll do it again. XG, thank you, dude.
Dude,
And
it's a
guys,
pleasure,
we
XG.
appreciate you guys. When we got a lot of information out, it gets a little crazy, so we do the best we can. And I'm glad we did this episode. It was a lot of fun, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the other side.
All right.